Today's a bit of a fun episode for me anyways. I'm sharing my go-to thrift finds that have saved me and my husband thousands of dollars while helping us create a very warm and lived-in home that's full of charm. If you've ever wondered what to actually look for when you walk into a thrift store, or you felt overwhelmed by all this stuff, because let's be honest, a lot of the time thrift stores are totally chaotic, then this episode is for you. I'll walk you through the 9 items that I almost always hunt for when I'm going thrifting, how I use them in our home, and how they've helped me stay on budget without sacrificing style or function. So let's dive in. Welcome to the Modern Homemaker Mom podcast. I'm your host, Jynae Schmidt. If you found yourself here, it means that you're ready to break free from overwhelm, create a peaceful, well-run home, and finally live with more structure, margin, and stability. Here you'll find practical rhythms, real-life systems, and faith-filled encouragement you need to simplify your home and reclaim your time so that you can show up fully for the life God is calling you to. Let's get started. Okay, so I did a little homework, I did a little research. Did you know that the average American spends $1,599 every single year on home decor? Now that is a lot of money going towards throw pillows, wall art, and storage bins, many of which are trendy today, but they're outdated by next season. Now, if there's anything that I've learned is you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to create a cozy and personal space. In fact, thrifting the right items not only saves you money, but it often results in a home that feels more thoughtful, put together, and unique. So let's talk about the 9 thrifted items that I use to do exactly that. So number 1 is wicker baskets. Wicker baskets, man, these are so versatile and incredibly aesthetically pleasing. So it's really 2 bonuses in one. I use them personally for organizing things like toys, books, blankets, clothes, shoes, pantry goods, bathroom toiletries. I mean, pretty much anything you can name, you can use it in a wicker basket. You can organize it in a wicker basket. And the thing about wicker baskets is they just add this instant coziness, at least in my opinion. They add this instant charm while keeping things looking tidy and put together. And it's nice because you're also creating this organizational system so that things have a place where they belong, but it can actually look really cute and put together and aesthetically pleasing. My personal tip for when you are thrifting wicker baskets is look for various different sizes and shapes to suit different storage needs. It doesn't matter if you can't get all matching. I mean, they're wicker baskets. They look cute no matter what. In fact, I went thrifting this last weekend, a couple days ago, and I came home with 2 different wicker baskets. They look totally different. They're different shapes, but they're going to be perfect for my daughter's closet as I'm organizing her toys. The second thing that I always look for, and this isn't always necessarily in thrift stores, this is also on like Facebook Marketplace, you can find this, is solid wood furniture. Now, why solid wood? Well, I like solid wood because first of all, they're durable, they're timeless, so they never go out of style, and they're perfect for refinishing or doing a DIY project. If you're trying to buy furniture brand new, they really don't make, it's really sad, they don't make a whole lot of furniture out of solid wood these days. I mean, it's so sad because you think back to 150, 200 years ago, even maybe not even that long ago, they used to hand build and handcraft all of their furniture. Like we're talking like carving out all of these ornate, beautiful details. And now you go to the store to get like a bed frame or something, and it's made with particle board and veneer that's supposed to look like wood, but it's really not. And it's sad to me because I think solid wood pieces are just so beautiful. And like I said, solid wood pieces are very classic looking, so they're not trendy. It's not going to go to style in 10 years. So you invest in the money now in a solid wood piece by avoiding trendy purchases later. So ultimately, you're saving money because you're buying something that's going to last you a lifetime. My husband and I recently found a king-sized solid wood bed set on Marketplace, and we've been literally looking for 6 to 8 months. And very religiously, like I would check Marketplace every single week looking for a solid wood king bed, and I just could not find anything. Finally, I found this and we got right on it. It wasn't exactly the color we wanted, but my husband was so patient and so graceful to me that he refinished it. He sanded it down for me and we refinished it ourselves. And now we have this beautiful solid wood bed frame that's going to last us, I think, the rest of our life, and we're not going to have to replace it because it's solid wood. Like maybe you nick it or something, but that's okay. It just adds to its charm, and it doesn't matter because it's solid wood. It's not going to totally break it like it would if you were using something that was made out of particle board or like that veneer finish. The third thing that I always look for are picture frames. I grab most of my picture frames secondhand. If I'm looking around the house right now as I'm recording this, every single picture frame that I see is literally thrifted or secondhand. And something that I've done in my own home, it's right behind, so I'm staring at it right now because I'm recording this podcast episode at my kitchen table actually. But on the wall behind my kitchen table, I have this gallery wall of picture frames with all of this beautiful vintage art inside of it, and they're all wooden frames as well, so that's nice because you can refinish them too. But you can also get beautiful old kind of fashion vintage looking picture frames from thrift stores. It's funny because people are like, oh, this is trash, but so many other people, if you have the right eyes to find it, it's this piece that will look beautiful in a gallery wall. And if you're not sure what a gallery wall is, just go on Pinterest and search up gallery wall photo frame inspiration or something like that. It will give you all sorts of ideas. It's a beautiful way to add charm to your walls and make your space feel extra cozy. And I kind of briefly mentioned this, but my quick tip for this is you can purchase vintage art online. So like Etsy would be a great place to look, and you can print it from home to save money. I've done this so many times where I've gone on Etsy. You can literally buy these beautiful vintage prints from artists who painted them like 100, 200 years ago, and they're vintage and they're classic and they're so beautiful. You can literally get them for like a couple bucks, and then you can print them off at home if you have a high quality enough printer, or you know what you're doing. Maybe you don't even have a printer, but you could always print them off at somewhere like Costco or Staples. I don't know what American stores would use because I'm in Canada, but I've done both where I've printed from home and then I've also outsourced it from other stores. But I love printing vintage art and putting it in my picture frames. It just really is affordable. It's an affordable way of adding decor to your walls, but it also looks really nice and put together and high end. Friend, imagine this for a moment. You wake up and your home already feels calm. There's rhythm to your mornings that doesn't leave you playing catch up. You know what needs to be done, and there's space in your day to do it without rushing, snapping, or multitasking yourself into exhaustion. Your home doesn't feel like a burden anymore. It feels like a refuge, and you feel confident, not perfect, but peaceful, present, and finally at ease. You're showing up as the woman God created you to be, not in burnout or hustle, but in purpose and joy. That life isn't far off, and you don't need to overhaul everything to find it. You just need rhythms that work with your real life. Rhythms that bring order, clarity, and calm to your days. That's exactly what you'll find inside my course, Modern Homemaker Method. It's not a system that adds pressure to your life. It's a structure that gives you margin. Margin to be present, margin to connect, and margin to rest. If your heart is craving that kind of peace, this is your next step. Come build the life that you've been praying for, one gentle rhythm at a time. Join me inside the Modern Homemaker Method course today at jynaeschmid.com/Modern Homemaker Method. Again, that's jynaeschmid.com/Modern Homemaker Method, or you can also find it in the show notes of this episode. The fourth thing I always look for when I'm thrifting is vintage dishware. I'm always looking for teacups, pitchers, like for cream pitchers kind of thing, mason jars. I've gotten tons of like old-fashioned mason jars, the old gem jars where it's like I don't even know how to explain. It's like the tin lid and it has the rubber seal. And I store like dried goods in those, beans, salt, nutritional yeast flakes, chia seeds, that kind of stuff in these old mason jars. It looks vintage and you can see through them so you know what's in your jars. So it's organizing and it's aesthetically pleasing. It's just win-win for me. I also look for wooden bowls, cast iron pans, wooden cutting boards. The nice thing about all these things is they really do look beautiful in your home. They look beautiful on open shelving or hanging on your walls, but they're also very practical because you can use them in your real life. Okay, the fifth thing that I always look for are quilts. They are so functional and also so beautiful. I use lots of quilts that I've thrifted. I use them as picnic blankets or on the couch as a throw blanket or even for our beds. They instantly soften a space. I think it's really important to add textiles to your space to make it softer, curtains, throw pillows, throw blankets. It just makes it look so much more cozy. Now, when you're looking for quilts, something that I always try and keep in mind is I'm always looking for unique patterns that are going to add character to your home. And you want to keep in mind, like, what's the kind of vibe or the kind of aesthetic or the feel that I'm trying to portray in my home. Calicos and ginghams, these are timeless. I'm always looking for those. Also, keep in mind the color scheme that you are going for in your home specifically. Do you want a more warm feel, or do you want your home to be cooler? Maybe you want to go for some blues and greens if you're going for a cooler, or yellows and reds, like soft yellows and reds if you're going for more of a warm look, creams. The sixth thing I look for is crocheted doilies. These add such cozy dimension, at least in my opinion anyways. Maybe you're cringing at the thought of a doily on your coffee table, but I love them. I think they add so much dimension to services like nightstands. My nightstands in my bedroom, they each have crochet doilies, which are actually from my mother-in-law's grandma, I believe, made them. So those were given to me secondhand from the family, but I've often looked for them when I'm thrifting and have bought doilies thrifting as well. They just look so nice on nightstands and coffee tables. The seventh item I look for when I go thrifting are lace curtains. Now, this is hit and miss sometimes. Sometimes you score, sometimes there's nothing. But lace curtains, and I've kind of mentioned this before with the textiles thing, but lace curtains really give a room a very romantic, soft, and airy feeling. They let in that really beautiful natural light, and I'm one of those people that love natural light. I think natural light is so important, making sure that your windows are open and you're letting in that beautiful natural light into your space to make it feel very fresh and put together. And the beauty of the lace is you can have that curtain, you can have it up, but it's still letting in light. So I usually find them honestly for a few bucks, and they literally totally changed the way a room feels. I remember when I first put up my lace curtains in my home after not having curtains, I just stepped back and I was like, oh my goodness, it just looks so perfect. The eighth thing I look for, and this isn't exactly one specific thing, it's kind of a generalized thing, but it's old-fashioned items. So think of things like vintage washboards, brooms, butter churns, crocks, scrub brushes, cream separators, all that kind of stuff. For me anyways, I mean, it's going to be different for you. It depends on what your home decor style is. But for me, I love decorating with these because we're leaning into a more personally self-sufficient homesteading lifestyle. And I love my home to reflect that as well. And a lot of these items, yes, they're cute, but some are still very useful depending on your routines. Like if let's say the power went out, I would have a washboard. I could wash my clothes by hand. I even have a little vintage, it's wooden and cast iron. It's a little coffee grinder. So it's super cute. It's on one of the shelves of one of my hutches in my kitchen, and it looks beautiful, but also it's there to use if it was needed. So these decorative pieces are lovely to have, and they make a space just feel like you've almost walked into a little house in the prairie book, but they're also functional if you're embracing a homesteading lifestyle or if you ever need those backup things. Now, the ninth thing and the final thing I'm going to share with you today that I look for when I'm thrifting is vintage classic books. I collect these for both function and beauty, especially because my husband and I plan to homeschool our children. I only have one daughter right now. She's just over a year old, so we're not quite there yet, but we definitely plan to homeschool once she comes to that age. And of course, we're going to have more children as well. I just love books. I was homeschooled personally, actually, and reading aloud was something that was so beautiful and critical to my homeschooling and how I was raised. And that's something I want to embrace with our children as well. So when I go thrifting, I'm always looking for these classic books and even vintage books because they look really beautiful up on a shelf, or I have a stack of them up on top of my piano. They're aesthetically pleasing and practical, so that's a win-win. I would definitely recommend that if you're looking for specific classics, that you're looking for hardcover editions or books with beautiful spines because they look really beautiful on display. So in summary, you do not need big box stores or big budgets to create a cozy home that feels like you. I've mentioned this before on the podcast. My husband and I are currently on one income. We've been living that way for a couple years now, and I have still been able to make my home feel very cozy and put together even when we're on a tight budget and don't have a whole lot of extra money to throw around on decorating. I've still been able to go thrifting and find some really beautiful things that make our house feel very cozy and put together. And I know that you can do the same. So I hope that these tips today were helpful for you. Maybe you've never gone thrifting before and you want to try it now because you have something to give you kind of a roadmap on what to look for. If I could give you one challenge this week from this episode, it's pick one item from the list that we talked about today of the 9 items we talked about, and keep an eye out for that item the next time that you go thrifting, maybe estate sailing, garage sailing, browsing Facebook Marketplace. See if you can find it and start adding charm to your home one piece at a time. It doesn't have to happen overnight. Again, like I've been doing this for years, and just slowly I've been able to curate a collection of items in my home that look beautiful and make me feel good. And my family loves them as well. So if this episode inspired you, and you want to connect more, I would love to invite you into my free Facebook community. It's where we can actually chat, because I can't talk with you here, but we can chat in the community. We can share ideas, ask questions, and get support from one another in this homemaking journey. I also share extra resources. We do weekly check-ins, and it's just such a good space for like-minded women like you. So you can join us by clicking the link in the show notes. I can't wait to meet you inside. And that's it for today, friend. Thank you so much for tuning into the podcast again. I'll see you next time for another episode on the Modern Homemaker Mom podcast. Did something in today's episode encourage you? If it did, would you take a minute to hit subscribe and leave a quick review? It's such a simple way to support this show and help other homemakers find this encouragement as well. And if you're looking for even more support in your homemaking journey, come join our free Facebook group. Just head over to bit.ly/home routines. Thanks for tuning in today. I'll see you in the next episode.